What is the best possible way for Barcelona to set up going into the 2025-2026 seasons? It's no longer up to a month before we start or get started into the new season. Last season, we saw Barcelona do the domestic treble. Very, very convincing and very, very dominant in the league last season. Remember, it was just Hansi Flick's first new season into the league. And this season, Barcelona had just 3 signings, but very good and important signing with the likes of Marcus Rashford, the likes of Ronnie Badji, and then Joan Garcia. Before we go on, if this is your first time in my page, please like, subscribe, and then share to other groups. And then if you have been coming here and are yet to like or subscribe, please do that now and turn the notification on so that whenever I post a video, you are going to see it firsthand and on time. Now let's go into Barcelona's major or first team lineup going into the last season. We always saw Chesney as the goalkeeper, then Kubasi, Inigo Martinez. We saw Balde before the injury, Koundé. We saw Frankie de Jong. We saw Pedri Gonzalez. We saw Dani Olmo, Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, and then Robert Lewandowski. But again, these were not just the only impressive guys here. We love how Hansi Flick improved a lot of players here in Barcelona last season. A lot of players were in their top physical shape, like the likes of Pedri, who was not injured at any time last season. And then we saw an improved performance from the likes of Koundé. We saw Lamine Yamal increase in terms of his number, and we most especially saw Raphinha gave us Ballon d'Or numbers, and even 36-year-old Lewandowski still able to score 27 La Liga goals. 27 La Liga goals and 29 goal assist contribution in the last La Liga, despite being injured for some games. So it was indeed a very, very impressive performance. Another impressive thing Barcelona did last season was their high line trap. A lot of teams were not able to cope up with the high line trap. A lot of teams scored a lot of goals against Barcelona, but they were ruled offside. And it was a thing of frustration for a lot of teams, and they were not able to beat it, as Barcelona's defensive four were very much in sync. They did it. They just did it over and over again, and it felt like a recited symphony. It was a beauty to watch how they were able to time and how they were able to move accordingly, measuring it like it was done with a rule or a ruler. So I feel like going into this new season, Chesney, becoming older, as well as Barcelona now with the signing of Joan Garcia and Ter Stegen being injured for some months going into the new season, I think Joan Garcia will have to start, in the goalkeeping session. Remember, he was, for me, the best goalkeeper in La Liga last season. He was very, very impressive. He saves penalty. I swear, he was the goalkeeper with the most ball recoveries, and a lot of those recoveries were him coming out, to clear acting as a sweeper and him claiming a lot of crosses. So I see him starting in the defense, and I see Kubasi, definitely one of the best passers of the ball as a centre-back. Young guy, cool and composed. He does not get enough credit that is due to him. A lot of this credit goes to the attackers like Lamine Yamal, Raphinha. But the level of performance this guy puts in, week out, despite the fact that he's a very young guy, most of the time he doesn't put a foot wrong. It's hard for you to see him put a foot wrong. And then we also have the captain and leader and the general on the defense, Inigo Martinez, who matches the defense out, who is very vocal and who puts in a very good shift day in, day out. And then you also have impressive Koundé, who has also not only mastered the art of defending now as a wide defender, as a fullback, but also learns how to go forward and then put in a good cross and even score. He has had a good understanding alongside Lamine Yamal when to invert into the half space and when to even hold the weight or make the run to drag the defender off of Lamine Yamal, giving him 1v1 situation when doubled up. So he's definitely going to start. And in the midfield is where he always gets this. Definitely Pedri has nailed down his role. He was Barcelona's best player last season, one of their best players in La Liga, most especially if you look at the number of man of the match awards, he is one. So alongside him, definitely is going to be the more experienced Frankie de Jong. This guy, he is a dominant midfielder. He's very, very athletic. and he holds the ball so well. He's hard to knock off. He's very, very press resistant. He knows how to receive the ball. It's a very sweet feeling having a Spanish and a Netherlands midfielder. They are press resistant. For me, it feels illegal having these two guys into the midfield. Then you also see, then there's the likes of Gavi, there is the likes of Mark Casado, and then Mark Bernard, who is returning back from injury. I think with the ACL I think with the ACL that Mark Bernard has had, he's falling down the pecking order. He's like the third or the fourth right now, because I feel like Mark Casado is ahead of him, because of the physical shape that they are in, and as well as Gavi in this pivot role, because I caught Gavi in this pivot role because I don't see him playing as a number 10, even though going more forward is better for Gavi than, sitting as a pivot. But again, in that number 10 role is stacked. We have the likes of Olmo, who for me is the best Barcelona number 10, and nobody can do it like Olmo. And then we also have Fermin Lopez, a very exciting young guy. So much love this guy. He's very passionate. He doesn't look like a typical La Masia boy, because he shoots a lot. He tries to get on the score. He makes a lot of run. His movement is so good. It's a lot similar with, Olmo, but he can play off of the wings as well. A lot of times he's drifted to play as the right winger or the left winger, and you see him cut or try to take on his players on. And then on the left, right hand side, obviously, Lamine Yamal, Ronnie Badji is going to just, be fighting off of some minutes with him. And then on this left hand side, definitely we are going to still see Raphinha. A lot of people are saying with Marcus Rashford coming now, we see more of Raphinha as the number 10, and then we see Rashford on the left hand side. But I don't think that is going to happen. I think Daniel Olmo fit is undisputed, irreplaceable in this number 10, and then Raphinha, and then of course we are going to have Lewandowski, 27 goals. He's not showing any sign of slowing down, at least for now. Last season a lot of Barcelona fans were frustrated with the number of chances he's missing, but every striker misses a lot of chances. If you look at the chart of big chances missed, you see Mbappe, who won the Pichichi Award. So that being said, this is me saying to every Barcelona fan out there that you are not going to see Raphinha go to the bench because Marcus Rashford is here, and you are not going to see Dani Olmo go to the bench because Marcus Rashford is here. If he's going to put any of them on the bench, then he's going to work or show work in Steins too. Because Dani Olmo here, what he does, a lot of selfless runs, his movement, his ability to sometimes occupy the defenders by moving here, his ability to run off and on the number 9, you understand? Sometimes he makes some runs, not just to receive the ball, but to just drag one of these defender out, leaving Lamine Yamal the ability to pass to this guy. Or sometimes you see him also, sometimes you see him running to this place, occupying this one, as well as this guy occupying this one, so that Raphinha will also be free on the far post. You understand? Raphinha, a lot of people are saying Raphinha will play more as the number 10 now, because Daniel Olmo last season was not a little consistent and he was a lot of times injured. Why he would not so much work is because if Raphinha plays as a number 10 and not as an inverted winger, these are two different things. He will not have those space. He will not find a lot of spaces playing as a number 10, because he will be easily marked out by the opposition's DM. He can be marked. He can be rendered useless easily. You understand? By close marking here. And then just because of the fact that Marcus Rashford is most times a wide winger and a touchline winger, a line hugger, it will be hard for him to find the number of spaces, you understand, to pick up those positions he's always picking up in this place. Because when the opposition are defending, the most crowded place is this place, is the central zone. And then that is the reason why I give it to Dani Olmo over and over again. His ability to always find space in this central region, his ability to receive on the half turn, to receive with his weak foot. You understand? So this is what differentiates any guy. This is the most toughest position to play. This is the toughest position to play, or the most, is the hardest place. That's a lot of times you see players playing this position, they're always isolated. It feels like they are ghosting. When Pedri was playing in this position, a lot of times you don't see him. He was not able to impose himself as much in the game. Playing in this position means you, most of the time, even playing with your back at goal as well. Unlike in this place where you have a lot of freedom, players are going to press coming towards you. It is different than when you have the ball and you are taking the ball to the opposition. You understand, in their rest defense, than when players are running to you and then you're able to dribble them or turn and twist them. So with Rashford, he's going to present a different layer of play. I feel like when Rashford enters, I feel like Rashford is going to be much more a squad player. You know, he's going to be able to offer what Ferran Torres and Fermin Lopez were offering to Barcelona last season. Remember, Ferran Torres, despite coming from the bench and starting a few matches, he was still able to score double digits in terms of goals. He had 10 goals and 6 assists last season. So Rashford is going to have that role as well. With Barcelona playing a lot of competitions and hoping to go deep in a lot of them, there will be a time when Barcelona is going to play Atletico Madrid in the weekend and then maybe play PSG in the midweek in the Champions League. They are not going to start these two matches and play at the same optimal level. A lot of times last season they did that, but they were fast stretched. So I feel like Rashford can start some of them. And then when Lamine Yamal is becoming tired or getting fatigued in the match or is not in the game, you can take him off. Raphinha, that is when Raphinha goes to the right wing, which is a position he has played before. And then you have Rashford on the wide or the far left. And then you have maybe bring in Fermin Lopez. You know, Barcelona will now be able to twist and play with a lot of ways. And when Rashford plays as a left wing holding the width, Raphinha coming to this left-hand side or right-hand side rather, he will not be holding the width just like Lamine Yamal. He will be looking to also run to the shoulders of defenders and then make those runs to the far post and meet a lot of crosses that will be coming from Rashford, who knows how to ping in those crosses across the bar as well from this left. So those things Lamine Yamal is doing from the right hand side, dragging bodies to him and then giving Raphinha the freedom to run from the back of defenders. Rashford will also be able to do that, drag bodies to himself alongside Balde, who will be bumpy here. And again, if Rashford starts, Balde, who likes to roam or is an overlapping fullback, will not have much freedom to hold the weight and run, and run freely like he does run. So that is the reason why. More reason why Raphinha is going to keep starting and keep inverting so that he lifts this weight for Balde to explode or become that more explosive defender we know him for. But again, it's give Barcelona a lot of, and Hansi Flick, a lot of tactical tweak, tactical dimension, with a lot of players bringing their style of play to give a lot of players a lot of rest going into the new season. And Lewandowski is still undisplaceable, and then if he shows any signs of slowing down this season, there is Ferran Torres who can play that position comfortably where he has a lot of movement. You even inject more speed in the lineup, and then you have Rashford who can also play that position, injecting that speed, pace, bringing that much tactical dynamism in the defense of the opposition, and then making sure that they create a lot of chaos going forward. Tell me what you think, what your best lineup or your best setup is, and I'll be on the comment section. If you have watched me to this time and you have not yet subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please click that subscribe button and then turn the notification on so that you can always get first-hand my posts in real time. This is Football Matter Catalyst and Analyst, the football pacifier and the football encyclopedia. Peace, no cheats.